Hello, it's Angela with directions for another card for the September 22nd class. This one is a slimline card, I think. Yeah, you can see the whole thing in the video. So yeah, I thought I'd show you guys another card cut. It still uses an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. You just can't get two cards out of one sheet, but you do have a nice piece of scrap that you can use for lots of different things. So let's get started with this one. You have a white card base already scored for you, of course. Just crease that, and we're going to use some DSP layers. Cajun Craze, it's the theme of the day. It's just one of my favorite fall colors. So we will start with this background piece. Just centering that on there. And then this floral piece is, I guess, about 2/3 or so of the card. You get centered left and right, and then from the top, you know, the same amount of trim around. Oh, that was hard to describe. I should have practiced that one. Sorry about that. And I really need to work on these videos. I appreciate your patience with me. Hopefully they'll get a little better every month. And I love this idea of letting you guys see the projects before the class, so you have a heads up and can, you know, it'll just help. I think you might be, you know, if you have questions, obviously, let me know. I'm there to help. So this little piece is already run through the stamp cut and emboss machine to give it some texture. I used the gingham embossing folder for that, which, like everything else in this class, I think is retired, but that's okay, because if you see something you love, I'm sure that we have something similar that's current. And for the sentiment, it's on a punched out sort of diamond shape. Usually I stamp first and then punch, but I think it works out just fine to punch first with this card and another card that we're making on September 22nd. Oh, and I'm using Cajun Craze again. I only had one stamp pad, so for this card we are using the Cajun Craze stamping spot that came in a paper pumpkin kit. So you can ink this, I call it kind of backwards if you want. I think it's a little easier this way. Just dab that on, and you know, like any other project, oh, here's my scrap. You can always do a practice run, make sure it's looking good, you're not missing anything. Sometimes I'll stamp and there's a hair or a little piece of a dimensional release paper stuck somewhere that I didn't notice. And yeah, so it's always good to just give it a practice stamp on your scrap paper. So we're just gonna put "Wishing You Well" on this card, which I thought works nicely for a get well card, but it could also be used for any other occasion, like you know, someone going out of town, wishing them a good trip, or wishing them, I don't know, you can get creative. You'll know when you need it. And then for this one also, I am using a little bit of the baker's twine in Cajun Craze, and I just attached it to the back of the punched out layer. And I think you saw me do it. I didn't talk about it. I put some adhesive on there. Let's see, which way are we going? Wishing you well. So I want it to slant out this way. So I'm just going to stick it down. Whoa. This is funny doing it on camera. Stick it down, and then I can place it the way I want, you know. And if you guys have a trick for this kind of thing, please share. There's so many tips and things out there that, you know, there's never just one way to do something. So let's see. Actually, I think the 2 doubles works. So I'm going to trim that off right there. Well, I'll bring my better scissors for the class for trimming ribbon. And I'm going to use dimensionals to pop it up because I love dimensionals. And I may have misplaced them. I'm going to grab them. 1 second, sorry. Thank you for your patience. And I'm back. I just grabbed my mini ones because they were right there. So I'll stick a couple of these on. Oh goodness, stuck to me. There we go. I'll bring the regular size ones for you guys to use. These are awesome though for other projects when you have a little, something little, like we used on the apples. Well, actually, the apples were just big enough to use the regular size, but sometimes there's little flowers and things. And I'm using my little take your pick tool to pull off the paper. And we'll stick the wishing you well right on there, like that. That little guy doesn't need to stay there. Okay. And for the inside, I chose this just black and white, you know, crisp, clean black and white. Stick that down. And because it's still a fall print with leaves and acorns, so I grabbed leaves, acorns, and pine cones. So I grabbed a pine cone stamp to use on that inside layer. Oh boy, where did that go? Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, here it is. Sorry. There's the inside layer. All right, and you know, staying with the coordinating color, black. Just did a little pine cone right there, just like that. And then you can type, I mean, you know, obviously fill in with your personal message. And I saved, I don't know if it's the best for last, but one of my, oh, see, I knew that would happen eventually. You got to be careful about getting ink on your silicone pad because it'll transfer to your project. So I'm not going to stick that down, but you know, like normally it would just go right there. We'll redo that. But since this, oh, actually I forgot something else. I'm sorry. I felt like this needed a little something, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to put some sequins on there. I have this neat little set of sequins that's on the clearance rack, actually. And there's like 4 main colors, but within the colors there's like little variations. But I thought this gold looked nice. And to put the sequence on, I used these little glue dots. These are dots from a paper pumpkin kit. And you know, I'm lifting them off with my tool and then sticking them where I want, just randomly on the card. And then you'll lift off the release paper and use the putty end of the take your pick tool that is sticky to grab your little sequence out of there, and then you can just stick it on. It might be upside down. Oh, there we go. There were actually 2 there. So I'm not going to do all of those on the video because I know you don't need to hear and watch me any more than you have to. But, you know, please get creative, do it your way. You can try other colors if you want. On my original sample, which has disappeared and reappeared, I just stuck with the gold, the shiny gold little flecks of sequins on there, and that's what that looks like attached. And okay, so I was saying what might be my favorite part is, since this has these big dahlias on there, we had a celebration promotion stamp set that was called Delicate Dahlias, and it just stamps so beautifully. It's a distinctive stamp style. Sorry, the words just are not coming today. And so I thought I'd put a dahlia on the envelope and use this same color, which, as you may have guessed, is retired, but that's okay. That's what it looks like stamped. Let's see, I'll just show you. It's just so fun to stamp. Every time I play with this, I just want to make flower cards. So just ink that up. Oh, and I think I mentioned before, but didn't have it handy. Always great to have a little wipe to get all that extra ink off before you stamp on your paper. There you go. Oh, and I'm going to stamp off of my envelope, so I've got my scrap paper down. And just give that a good press. Voila! I just find that so pretty. I hope you guys do too. So you've got a nice little coordinating envelope for your wishing you well card. Enjoy!